Welcome.
Hello.
Happy Friday.
You made it. Congratulations. I don't know if anybody's told you that yet today, but good job this week.
Congratulations, you made it. That's coming from the both of us. What you didn't see off camera just now was Aaron clapping along to the intro sequence. So that's right, folks. We got the intro sequence. It is back after a couple weeks of not having it, which means that Aaron is he's getting into it. He's vibing. I
I
am a little bit more timid on the dance moves, but Aaron, he knows how to do it.
it's I mean, I don't know, it hits something. It hits a nerve where it's just that do 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 and you just
Yeah,
can't
it's
yeah,
a clap
it's good
along
stuff.
thing.
It's
Yeah.
good stuff. I mean, like
Yeah, it's good stuff. Speaking of good stuff, today we have something really special planned for you guys. A nice little architectural building located in Gretna, Nebraska. Aaron
the
has told me that
architectural hub
yes,
of
the plains of Gretna, Nebraska, the architectural center, some would say. But yeah, Aaron,
got your
you
Garys
just
out there, you got your rights, you got I mean, it's just fighting for land for
yeah,
architects to design on out there.
exactly. Architectural Digest just did a whole feature just on that. That's a joke, actually. But Aaron, you told me actually that you've driven on Interstate 80, the highway that kind of connects the Midwest
That's
to
right.
Colorado, but you haven't seen this. So do you think that the next time you will go out of your way to see this?
I mean, if I ever end up on the highway driving back to Illinois, my family's from Illinois outside Chicago, and which means about 10 hours of I-80 just driving.
Mhm.
And I'd like to say I'll keep an eye out for it, but when you're on I-80 for that long, there's this kind of time warp brain thing that happens where I think you stop noticing it's just cornfield after cornfield and it just kind of gets blurry. So, but yeah, knowing that it's out there, I think it'd be cool to look at because it's a cool looking building. So, and,
Yeah.
and and by the way, no shade on Nebraska. I have some great friends that are from Nebraska. I've just driven through it too many times, and I just
Yeah. You
it's just
probably
a
have
lot of
some kind
fun.
of cousin twice removed that lives out in Gretna that you didn't know about. And so, yeah.
So yeah, but
Anyway,
yeah, but it's a cool building. It is a very we're kind of joking about it, but it is definitely a cool looking building. So
no,
um,
that's why we
yeah, look at
picked it.
everybody's already chiming in over here. This is awesome.
I know. Yeah, we got folks from the UK. We got folks from Canada, from Portugal. Yeah, it's great to see an international audience with us, celebrating the fact that it's Friday and that we're going to dive into some really cool modeling here. So,
Yeah,
Aaron, what do you think? Should we dive in?
let's do it. Let's go.
All right, let's go.
All right, here we are. Um, yeah, so I grabbed a couple of images of this that I think we're going to try to use. So let's start by just I'm just going to drop one of these in here on the screen so we can take a look at it together. This is the building we're talking about. So you can see, like I said, this is you can see why it was so exciting to go. Oh yeah, let's model that thing. We got these big. I don't know if I. They look like they're timber arches kind of coming up here. We got stonework that kind of goes over here. These big multi-lamb monstrous things here. But yeah, you can see it's just a really cool structure. It's really unique. Really just begs to be in SketchUp in my opinion. It just wants
Yeah,
it.
and normally the sky isn't this white in Nebraska. Just so everybody knows, this is the result of
Oh,
Aaron's environment that he has on. But
we can turn this
yeah,
off temporarily. There we go.
just there we go. Oh,
That
but
looks
I
more
mean,
like
this
it.
is interesting because normally we would look at this from an elevation perspective or maybe even a section and try to figure out how we're going to maybe like trace this. But because we don't have any of those things, we're kind of flying, uh, you know, a little blind here. And so I'm wondering, Aaron, how are you going to approach this? Are you going to do like a basic shape first, or yeah, what's your thought?
Yeah, so there's a couple things we could do. Um, we could jump in without thinking, which is a tact that I am a fan of. But I think we might pump the brakes for just half a second. So if I look at this, just doing that initial breakdown, I feel like back here somewhere, we got this basically this big glass box, right, that goes here. In the front, we have this stone section that you can see. It kind of it has its own lower roof and it kind of extends back. I wonder if this is like an original and this is built over. I don't know. I don't know anything about it, but you can see there's two distinct parts. We got the glass box. We got this stone section right here, and then outside of both of it, is this like big wood frame. So I think what could happen, and we end up skipping out on this step a lot because we don't get good images that would work for this. But I think this image may actually be a good image to give a shot at a match photo, because I feel like we have parallel vanishing points. If I look at this line right here and this line right here, they're going the same direction towards each other. Over here, I don't have distinct lines, but I could pull a line from this point end of the overhang to this end of the overhang, and then like from here over to here, and that would give me 2 points going the other direction. So I think I could do a match photo with this. I probably would not do a whole lot of actual modeling in the match photo, but I think I could do enough to get, like I said, this initial box right here. So here's the side, kind of goes like that, goes like that, goes like that. To get that in there, maybe reference where this part is. So I could do enough that we could get the approximate shapes and relative values right away. So I'm going to give that a shot. We're going to try it.
Yeah, match photo is a good call. Yeah, and I have the basic dimensions listed out here for you. So as soon as you kind of have a shape that you feel comfortable with, we can get everything to an appropriate size.
Perfect. Yeah, so we'll talk through what that process is like right now. So I'm going to go to import. I believe it is this one right here. I'm going to import it as a new match photo. Hit import. This is what match photo gives me. Whoops. Don't touch the 3D mouse. You got to stay in this view. So I now have these 4 bars, 2 red, 2 green, and each of these bars have movable endpoints. So I'm going to take my greens and line them up with one set of parallel lines that vanish. So like that. And I'll grab the other one right here. We'll go right at the bottom of this beam right here.
There you go.
That.
One thing that's nice about this photo is it looks like it's just a pure photo that's just been like taken straight on from this thing. It doesn't look like there's any type of like warping happening, which is nice because it kind of takes, you can trust the match photo a little bit more, I think.
I think you're absolutely right. Well, it's one of the things you see with especially tall buildings, because tall buildings don't fit into viewfinders very well. They're just not they're just not made for that. They're big. So a lot of times when you look at skyscrapers, stuff like that, either because of the lens they use or post-processing, a lot of times we don't have good solid parallel lines. This one, however, this one worked pretty good. So I'm going to take my origin now. I'm going to drop it right at the bottom of, I think, this beam right here, which is where I think, yeah, see, I think that's this column thing goes all the way up, and I think that's where that inside glass is. So by putting my blue line here, I can see, does that pretty close match? And it does. It does a pretty good job of matching up with that vertical line. I can see right here that 2D Aaron, so a lot of times people go, why do you have those 2D figures in every model? And this is a perfect example of why. Because I can see if I did this right now, here's about 6'2". That would make my door about 4 feet tall. So that
you would have to duck under the entry there.
So I'm going to bring that down so that it's again, I don't know how big anything is here. We're gonna verify sizes after we finish this step. But right now I can get at least in the ballpark, right? So I don't know how big this door is. I'm assuming it's a pretty big door, but not like 12 feet tall or anything. There's some furniture on the inside, so I feel like maybe like that might be about the right size. At this point, it's just getting rough geometry. So I'm going to say this, and I apologize if this is blasphemous to anyone and they lose their minds. I apologize. But when I think about match photo, I really do think about rough modeling. This is not going to be precision. I'm not going to be in this match photo putting each of these beams in perfectly. I'm going to use match photo to get the bulk, the main shapes cut out. And then we'll go to kind of more traditional modeling. We'll just hop in the model in 3D and start putting pieces in. So just something to keep in mind. Not necessarily going to be using this match photo for a whole lot more than just getting those initial rough shapes in.
Yeah, I think that's good to call out too, because especially in this photo, you kind of have like the foreground obscuring like the other corner of the building. So like we're really just going for like a rough shape here. You're not really like zooming in and getting a pixel perfect match.
Right.
But yeah, it's a good call out.
And again, something else that Justin called out, I want to point, it's a great point, so I want to bring it up again, is that even with a good unedited picture of something, you can still get a little bit of warping from cameras, lenses, and stuff like that. So sometimes something that looks like it should be perfectly straight is maybe at the end kind of curves off a little bit because it's getting towards the edge of the lens. So it is perfectly possible that you model something exact, but it doesn't quite line up with the photo. And that's just reality. I mean, that's the reality of taking pictures. It's also reality of real world stuff. Unfortunately, I've talked to the real world multiple times, but we can't get perfect stuff still. So
we're working on it.
Sometimes the real world isn't perfectly straight and doesn't do exactly what you want it to.
Yeah.
All right. At this point, I got my lines in, my red lines, my green lines. I'm going to go ahead and hit done. All right. And now we're in here. We have this. And what we can do is I'm going to start right here at the origin. I'm going to draw a line back to, I guess, all the way back to here. And I'm going to take it up to here. I'm going to come across this line. Went a little bit too high. And I'm going to bring it back down. All right, there we go. So I'm going to grab that, move it vertically. Just a little bit. Try to line it with, I have this little teeny line of reflection I can see right here. All right, I'm going to take that straight across the red axis till I get to there. I went too far. All right, but again, I'll fix that. No, actually, let's do this. Let's just pull this through. I'm just going to pull it through till it hits right there. There's that line and back. So that's about where the bulk, that glass frame is at. I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to pull this out on the red axis to this corner right here. I'm going to go straight up from there to here, take that across to here, drop that back down to the origin. That gives me a rectangle. Let's go here straight up. Arc from here to here. And now that I did that, I got a couple pieces in there. It's kind of hard to tell when you're looking at this 3D model overlaid on the image exactly what's going on. So I'm gonna break out of there. Oops, I did not come out. I didn't do that right. So let's go ahead and just do all that over again. As long as I keep this screenshot up, this scene up here, I can always jump back to it. So that's good. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come on the green axis. There we go. I came on the red. That was the wrong axis. There, we're going to go from there, up to here, across to here, back down, until I get to the bottom of this point, and then back here. There we go. That's what we need. Up here, again with the arc. Again with the arc. There we go. So now, there we go. Now it's out here. That's perfect.
Nice.
So I can take this, do a quick rotate to get that like that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to reverse the face, but then I'm going to grab this, just this, and make it its own group because I don't want this to merge with this yet because I might be doing some editing, but we'll pull it back to the face so they intersect. Aaron just went inside. I'm going to draw an edge across here because I want to pull this up so it matches the ridge. We'll talk about that in one sec, why it lines up on one side and not on the other. So what I want to do is I want to grab that ridge. I want to grab this and I want to pull it vertical so it matches the image. The problem is when I go here, I can't get to that image, right? Because I'm on the other side of it. So what I can do is I can pre-select. I can highlight right now. And when it's highlighted, jump back into the scene. And now I can just go to move and move it vertically, even though I can't see where it is. And that works just perfectly. All right, so it looks like that is parallel right there. That looks pretty good. All right, I'm going to triple click that and make that into a new group right now.
Nice.
All right, so this thing, I should probably save, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
Save.
John Ross asks, are you going to do half the building? So I'm thinking maybe modeling half the size and then just flip the half of the building and then flip a component over to the other side? Or are you going to model like the individual trusses and then array them? Like, what's your approach here?
That is an excellent question. Something I don't think about usually till I'm pretty far down the line of modeling. So good question. Good question. Thank you so much. No, what this would make a lot of sense. So obviously right here we have these continuous pieces that come across, and you can see the left and right is different because the way the timbers overlap. So this facade will probably, I'll just do by myself or by itself. These pieces down here as they array and the beams that go in front of the glass, I'll probably do that as a component and then copy it over. And then the back half is totally different from the front. So yeah, something like that. So I'll probably model the front as a piece and then the side as a piece and then mirror the side over. That's a good question. That is a great way to be thinking about stuff like this.
If these
all melded together and didn't, like, if they weren't obviously one set is in front of the other, if these were just all kind of came together, then I would say, yeah, let's chop it right down the middle and do half of it. That's a good astute point.
Are you ready for some dimensions?
Almost. I want to fix this real quick first. So the issue is that I have this kind of lined up on, so it does look like from the image, it looks like this brick wall lines up with the glass. So I think this side is where it should be. So the problem with working from a single viewpoint like this is it can be hard to tell at an angle if this corner is moving towards me on the green axis or away from me in the red axis. So I could pull this. So basically, from my viewpoint, this could move this direction and still look like it's in the same spot. I don't know if that makes sense. So what I'm going to do, if I look at my middle right here, you can see that this is not in line with the middle here. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to take this, I'm going to scale it, and I'm going to stretch it out to here. So now I know that this covers the whole thing. It goes from one side to the other. All these dimensions are still the same. This is still flat across here. This is now in the middle. So it lines up with the middle there. If I come over here though, see how it looks like it's slightly off? So I think what I can do is I can double click in and I can pull this back and get close to what I need there. Again, we're not trying to match perfectly. We're just trying to get the general shapes in, and I think that gets me close to where I want to be with that. All right, yes. So now we're, wait a minute, hold on. Okay, now that's important because we're going to do some scaling now. I want to see, how this changes. Yep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the two pieces that I have, put them into a new group, go into that group, and we'll scale from here. All right, so what numbers do we have, Justin?
Okay, so for the width, we are looking at 26 feet.
All right, so let's try this. We'll see how close we are. 28.5. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do a dimension from here to here. Tell it it's 26 feet. Enter. Because I'm inside of a group, it's just going to scale the group and not the whole model. If the whole model got scaled down, then Aaron would shrink and it would be absolutely terrible. So I'm just going to hit yes. There we go.
Cool.
So let's see. So, well, of course, nice. So we're close there, but yeah. But okay, the screenshot no longer matters at this point. It's just reference.
Yeah, now we're flying wild. The length is 80 feet.
77. Oh wait, no, hold up. 81.4 1/4.
That's pretty close.
So I'll come in here. I'll just push
the
this
push pull
back.
right there. Nice. Then the last dimension that I have from you is basically, yeah, the height from the tip. It's 48 feet.
So I got 47.1, but I haven't actually put my roof on top yet, so I'm gonna call it good.
Yeah.
We'll be putting
Nice
some more
work.
material up here, maybe a little bit taller, shorter, but we're very close. So yeah, that got us.
Got so close. Actually, I feel like is a good testament to the fact that the original photo that we used for Match Photo wasn't warped.
Right. Yeah. That was great. That was great. So yeah, Johnny pointed out that we could go in and adjust the match photo to make it all line up perfect and stuff, and we could do that. I'm not gonna. I'm absolutely could, but there's not a whole lot more I want to pull off the match photo at this point. At this point, I want to grab a couple more images I have and bring them in here and use these to model from. So we're gonna use this in a couple different ways. So I got this one right here. I got this one right here, which are good front and side views that I think I can model off of. So this one right here is the perfect for getting these wood shapes that they're gonna repeat the whole way down. So if I get this arc and these pieces right here, that's gonna be all the way down the side of this model. This of course is that very decorative front end. And then here on the sides, we can see what pieces are here to repeat. Yeah, so that'll be good to get all that stuff. I get those in from these images right here. So like I said, a little less worried at this point about, excuse me, those additional, or the match photo, excuse me, that we started from.
And are you going to wing those arcs, or are you going to trace the photo?
Well, see, here's the thing. We established that arc through the match photo with this.
Right.
Because these arcs offset off of this roof we did right here. So this is actually that same arc, offset, 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 etc., etc. The question that I have right now that we need to figure out is how far apart are these things? So there's a couple ways I could go about figuring that out. One is I could scale this drawing to this size and then just start doing it. I could offset 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 times, and then scale those 13 lines so the last one comes right about here. Or, since I have this nice, clean, square front view, I could take this and put this onto the front of this mass that I have right now and work off of that. So I think I'm going to try that. I don't know if it's going to work, but I like to try different ways to do stuff for you guys. So we're going to give that a shot. So right now this is an image, so I can't paste an image onto a surface. What I have to do is right click and say explode. When you explode an image, you create a surface with a material on it. That material is that image. So that's what I got now. So now I can come in here and I can say paint bucket, grab this, put it right here. And then I can say, okay, now texture, position. And I don't want to distort this at all. I just want to make it smaller. So I'm just going to start dragging it like this, slide over. This is not precision modeling at this point. This is kind of just getting stuff where I need it to be so I can reference it. So if I slide that, that's pretty close. A little bit bigger.
Yeah, that looks great.
All right. All right, so this picture is not perfectly square. I'm seeing some distortion because if I'm taking this line and trying to line it straight up, and that's working, but I can see that that's not perfectly aligned down here, but that's okay. This is gonna get us close. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit enter. Now, again, this is temporary. This is just to get some geometry off of here. I don't necessarily, again, we're not gonna keep this here. This is these ribs actually sit out away from that front glass right here, you can see. So I'm just using this as reference. So I'm going to use offset. Actually, I got to go in here and get this. I'm going to grab this line right here. Actually, I wonder if I should do both. I'll grab both these lines. I will copy them, and then I'll come in here into context, and I'm going to hide everything else in the model, and edit, paste in place. Now I can say, oops, offset from here to here, from here to here. Yeah, I see that the distortion's bugging me already. I'm going to say 12x. Oops. Offset from here to here, 12x. Oh, I'm sorry, asterisk 12. All right. Undo, undo, undo. All right, grab these two.
We're going to try again.
Offset here, 12, asterisk, enter. Asterisk 12? What am I doing wrong? All right. Times 12. X12. Nope. Oh boy. It's all falling apart. Why am I having such a hard time here? All right, let's try this again. So I'm going to grab these two. Sometimes Fridays feel like Mondays. All right, I'm going to offset just this up to here. This first one looks like it might be a little bit different spacing. So then I'm going to grab this one. Offset that up to here. 12x. Enter.
I don't know that you can array an offset. I think your better move is just to use the
move. Double click.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
There you go.
Brain didn't do its thing it was supposed to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. Nice. See that, folks? Even the experts. By that I mean Justin. Forgot to tell me that.
I'm not the expert. We've got the first pun of the day here. Peter says, right, "These arcs are way over your head," at Aaron.
All right.
And now, judging on the location of your scale figure, I'd say that's true.
Yes. This is good stuff right here. All right. So I may want to reference this image again, but I got to get it out of the way because there's too much lines right now. So I'm going to go up here to View, and I'm going to go to Face Style, and I'm going to change to Monochrome. Monochrome doesn't remove that, so it's still in there. What is this? What is going on here? What is this? Hold on, I got to go back.
I guess, yeah, it's tough again because the photo that you're using in elevation is a little distorted.
It is. All right, so here I'm going to back up a second. I'm going to back up way up. All right. I'm going to grab these two lines and I'm going to use a move. Option move up this one, and that's going to say 12x. So I was curious about this. So you can see that I can't use a move because, oops, that's not what I want to do. Because it does actually grow. So the arc of this piece is different from the arc of this piece. Is that a true statement? I'm questioning how I'm doing things. So apologize for 1 second. Let me indulge me for a moment, if you will. Here's what I want to try to do. All right, so I need to turn back to monochrome. All right, so if I take this line, I'm going to grab an arc, and I want to continue that line out. we go. So that's tangent. So if I take these two lines, weld them. Now if I go back, I'm going to put these in a... I think I want to grab this and put it into a group.
I feel like this arc is really throwing you for a loop here.
Well, I got to figure it out once, and then I'm good to go.
Right.
So
this is the
it's true,
crucial
though.
point of the whole stream. This arc.
No, I think we're there now. I think now that I got to this point, I had to do that for a sec. Okay, so now, so that arc that's not quite right. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of the arc from here on over.
Would you consider just drawing the arc from scratch?
Yeah, so I'm gonna just come here and then pull that up to about where I think that should be, and then we'll grab this, all of that, and say weld that. And now I'm going to take that and offset that here. I can double click. Okay, this is way better than what we had before.
Nice.
We're closer. Again, still some distortion, but which makes sense because if you think about being down looking up like this, stuff that's farther away is going to look like it's closer together than it actually is. So that makes sense. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So one more. It was a little bit too tall. So since these are all in a group together, though, I can grab them all and I can scale them down just a skosh like that. This way just a teeny bit.
Transom is reminding you to save. Yeah. It depends on how good the arcs turn out, I guess.
Yeah. Let's see. This might be a good revert point. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I have some shrapnel left from the last time I tried this arc. All right. So fortunately, like I said, once we get this arc down, we're pretty good for a while. So I do have to... I'm going to grab... Some of these ended up a little bit short, which I think is not a problem because I should be able to just go to arc, grab the end here like this, and then, oh, whoops, I'm out of context. All right, there we go. I go here and I go carry that out like that.
Nice.
Fortunately, it is repetitive.
But... yeah. You know, this type of modeling, though, sometimes the repetitive stuff, it's good for the soul.
Well, it's reality, right? Sooner or later, stuff repeats, and you maybe don't have the exact tool you need to make it happen. Right. Oh, I'm still going now. Stop! For gosh sakes. Okay.
Looks like the bottom one doesn't go all the way through on the left.
You're right. This is so small. I'm just going to put a segment like that. There we go.
Yeah.
And we'll weld that. And then each of these just double click or triple click, weld. Actually, I think I can do this all at once. If I just grab all of that and right click and say weld, is that going to just do the first one or is that going to do all of them? Let's see.
There you go.
I did all of them. Cool. Time saver. All right. Almost there. The last thing I need to do is I do need to make these now, give them some depth. So again, one at a time, I'm going to offset, I'm going to say 4 inches. And then I'm just going to double click and do that to each of these real quick. Is there a group offset? Is there an extension that'll let me offset a bunch of edges. Oh, whoops. Oh no.
Let's see. It does look like maybe there's an extension called multiple offsets. That would be interesting to play around with.
Yeah. All right. So now I need to get these cleaned up. So this is, again, it's still in its own group. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to chop these here, and then get rid of this extra geometry. Whoop. What are you talking about? There we go. What? Okay, I don't know what I just did before. Get rid of these. Sometimes problems happen and you can investigate, or you can just go, all right, I ended up in the right place, so let's move on. Like that. Why didn't that cut that? It's cutting a few each time. I must just be slightly out of plane, maybe? I don't know what that was. That wasn't good.
You're close. Almost there.
What is going on? Okay, there we go. Whew. These ones over here, the top 1, 2, 3, 4 carry on. So I want to skip 1, 2, 3, 4. Start my edge here. That, and then I don't know what's happening.
Oh, Aaron.
Some things should be easy, and I don't know, man. Oh, it's a good time. It's a good time, if nothing else.
Don't worry, folks. Next week we'll go back to modeling spaceships.
Yeah. This geometry, this buildings is just too hard. I need some simple 3D curves and mess to mess with. All right, let's get rid of some of these surfaces. Oops. Woo! All right, we're here. We've made it here. This is a good spot to be. I like that we're here. All right. Now. Oh, I should close these up too. Sorry, let me come back in here. That one. Ooh, it turned white. That is a good sign. That means something's closing up, and I like that. All right, let's hide the rest of the model and see. All right, looks pretty good. We can get rid of some extra edges here. Whoops. Okay, so let's say, hypothetically, learning opportunity presents itself. Oh, there's my problem here. This one wasn't quite long enough. How about that? There we go. I hit this every once in a while, where I have an edge drawn on the blue axis, and because the blue axis is so dark, I can't tell where I have edges and where I don't. I don't want to necessarily move my model away from the axes, so what I could do is I can temporarily just move the axes over. So I can go to Tools, Axes, and we'll just put it right here. And then now I can see, okay, there's those segments I missed. Couldn't see them before.
You can also temporarily just turn off the axes in your...
Valid.
Yeah, in your styles.
And then I can right click and say reset. Oh, and I went back over there. All right, so that's pretty good. That's looking good. Before I extrude it out in 3D, you do notice that these ones coming this way stop at this one right here, the first one that goes on the overhang the other side. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this, I'm going to make it into a component. I'm going to call these the front ribs. Because all
Yeah,
right,
why
and
not?
I'm going to take that, and I'm going to mirror a copy along this ridge right here. All right, so there we go. Looks good. Now what I want to do is, let's see how best to do this. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come in here, grab this edge right here, and copy it. Now I'm going to come into this one. I need to change my view because I don't want to see both of these. I'm going to hide similar components. I'm going to say edit, paste in place. All right, now that should allow me to get rid of these pieces here on down.
Nice.
It's all just geometry. Because
And
I
in
made
case
this
you
a
needed a
component.
couple words of encouragement, Peter says, "Never stop, guys. Best live streams out there."
Never
Thanks,
stop,
Peter.
never stopping. That's a good one.
Nice. That's looking pretty sweet.
Yeah, I'm a little closer on the top here, but I feel like I want a bigger thing here, but I'm going to go with it. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to pull this piece out. I'm going to make it 4 inches. I don't know if it's square or not, but I'm going to say it is 4 inches. I'm going to double click each of these. This is someplace where joint push pull might help because I could grab all these and do them all at once, but really it's not that big a deal to just click
again,
through.
it's good for the soul, you know? Sometimes
Click,
you just need something to turn
click,
your mind off and just double
click.
click and double click.
There we go. All right, so there we go. Got that. And now this one, we will move forward this way 4 inches. That'll give us our overlap. All right, we got that going. That looks like it's about halfway, well, no, about a third of the way back above this.
I'm surprised
thing.
that before push pulling, you didn't want to draw that outside arc when everything was flat, you know, the one that I guess intersects the 4 outward top arc.
Oh, this one right here?
Yeah.
Would have been a smart thing to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. No, just kidding. No, we have tools for
We
this.
fix it. We can do this. We can make it all happen. Look at all this. My messes are showing up. All right, so that looks pretty cool. So yeah, what we have right here, so we have a couple things. We have this big beam that comes in that kind of covers up a lot, actually portion of this. So I'm gonna do that real quick. Come out here, only 12. And that's gonna go straight up. I'm just gonna run it long right now. Make a component and call this a side column.
Rib number 2.
Oh, so many ribs. We'll just take this back like 6 inches, 5 inches. Actually, no, I do want that. Because it looks like that first beam is just a little ways back. So I want to make sure I make that happen. Actually, now that I'm looking at this too, I do feel like, no, I think that'll work. That'll work.
Nice.
Take those guys back. I want to line them up with, this corner should be lined up with the middle of this piece right here. That way both sides will bury into it. Perfect. I'll take this piece and I'm going to mirror it. I have those pieces. Now, coming off of that piece, you can see that that's this 3-ply thing right here. Coming off of that, this is where we had that other arc going up. Now, how to get that exactly where it needs to be? Thank you for asking. I think what we want to do is reapply this to here. Again, texture, position that, shrink it on down so that it more or less fits here.
Sweet. Nice.
Just a teeny bit bigger. All right. Now, of course, one of the problems we run into when we do this is it only projects onto the surface that we actually have. But one of the things we can do is we can make this face bigger. So we can go like this. Apply this to this, and then we get a continuation so we have an idea of where that actually sits. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to go up a couple inches here, give that a little bit of depth. Come down parallel here, run out to about where that roof line ends. Come down there 6 inches.
We have a comment here asking what type of mouse you're using, Aaron. You want to do your little plug so that you
Absolutely.
get your sponsorship deal?
Yeah. I have two mouses. One, of course, over here is my regular mouse. This is a Logitech MX. And over here on the left is a 3D mouse. 3D mouse allows me to move the camera in 3D space. This is a great way to just jump around the building in 3D space. For one thing, it gives me a nice smooth move because I can just kind of smoothly move around like that, as opposed to, the thing that we get used to in SketchUp is this kind of viewing, which there's nothing wrong with this.
That's how I model.
When you show somebody else this, it just can be a little harsh sometimes. So moving like this just makes it a little bit easier, a little bit smoother.
Yeah, soothing on the eyes, less twitchy overall.
That's right. The other thing is I have this mouse available to do whatever I want with that. So while I'm coming over here and changing my views, I could go collapse this and grab my next tool, and I could be there ready when I come back. It means, it's practice. You definitely, that's the thing that I always get hit by is like, oh, I tried that. It took so long. It was so hard to do. And I get it. I apologize if I make it look so easy.
No,
but
it's so easy. I'm actually impressed that you've trained your brain to be able to do two things at once. I mean, that's like writing from left and right at the same time.
It's not easy, man. It is just.
We have a real Da Vinci on our hands here.
Whoa! Slow down now. But yeah, so it is a matter of practice. But once you get used to it, you can really speed up your design workflow. I think this is one of the things that has made me a quicker and better designer, and also for presentations. For things like this where we jump around in 3D and spend a bunch of time in here, having these nice smooth camera moves, much nicer than being real jumpy. So yeah, absolutely worth checking out if you're a full-time designer, full-time SketchUp user. I would credit it with making myself a better designer. So try it. All right, so there we go. So now if I get rid of this, and this, I have a couple pieces left.
John Ross asks, Aaron, can you play the drums as well? Seems like it would be right up your alley.
I have
or like maybe play the drums with one hand and then like the guitar with the other one, like just multiple instruments at the same time.
I've tried playing drums. I can't do it. It's too much. It's too much for my brain. I have was in and out of bands throughout most of high school, but just never ever. The drums is always a mystery to me. I could never. My brother's a drummer. He plays drums, but I just could never pick it up. I tried, couldn't do it.
So you're saying you were the lead singer?
Nope, I played bass mostly,
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
which was a lot of fun and dare I say it, easier than most other instruments, in my opinion, my personal opinion. So.
Mark on LinkedIn, another tech question for you. Mark on LinkedIn asks, what brand and what specs are your laptop?
I have a 2-year-old MacBook 16, most of which is stock. I think the only thing that is beyond a normal MacBook for me is the fact that I think I've upgraded to 32 megabytes of RAM.
Yeah,
I think
you
that's
have
it.
all your torrenting programs on there too, which we won't talk about. But
Yeah, so it's a pretty basic setup. I do use this exclusively for modeling, though. I don't do any rendering, anything like that. So, there's definitely spots where if you were doing a lot of rendering or something like that, you might want to consider a beefier machine. But for what I use it for, this is perfect. And again, I am a Mac fan when it comes to Mac versus PC. Some people like PC. I like Mac personally. But yeah, that's just my own personal opinion.
the nice thing is you can model in SketchUp using both. You don't have
That's
to
right.
pick.
You don't
You're
have to.
you're looking pretty close to wrapping up this first set here.
I think we definitely are getting close.
Yeah. How are you going to clean up the excess on those 4 top arcs?
Well, gonna have to do a thing right here. Because I only have to do this once. That's the nice thing about this. I'm gonna take this one. I'm gonna mirror this again. Just mirror it over here. And because these are components, I only have to do this one time. And I'm going to do that specifically by coming in here. I'm going to grab this edge right here. I'm going to copy it, Control C. Then I'm going to come into this group right here. I'm going to edit, paste in place. That's going to give me that. And right now, before I do anything else, I'm going to hit offset and drag that down here. I'll do like 6 inches. Then I can just pull these ends off.
There you go. The old school way. I was wondering if you were going to use solid tools or not.
I coulda, but I didn't. I just that seemed like the quickest thing. I think there's some time I'm taught solid. Whoops.
There we go.
I'm gonna blame Mia for that one. Trying to figure out a way to make that Justin's fault, but I could not.
Yeah. Unfortunately, not this
time. I mean, we've done lots of solid modeling on here. I do thoroughly enjoy solid tool modeling. I think it's great. But I will say that there are times where I just want to cut a thing and move on. And even though, like right now, a little more erasing to get that out of there, but that just seemed quicker and easier. So, yeah, there we go. All right.
Are you going to do the same with the columns that are protruding through the roof?
Yeah, we should probably do that. With this, actually, what I'll probably do is just grab these right here, say intersect face with model, and that should give me too much though. Still probably easier.
Yeah.
So the reason I don't do in something like that, I don't do solid tools is because what I got to do is I got to grab both those pieces, get them solid, get them in their own groups, and then bring them together into context so I can hit them against each other. So that was an easy way to trim that off. I got some extra edges here, which I don't like. I don't want those extra edges there. But I think rather than going through and erasing, it's just going to be as quick to go to extensions and go to cleanup and merge faces. Merge faces is going to break any place that this prevented this from being one face, and then I can just go to clean up and say erase stray edges. And there we go. Now I'm back to just a column, but now it's...
Yeah, you can also intersect with the model and then just like select the one edge and then, Control Z and just paste in place. Yes. There's a million ways to do this thing,
That's what I love about SketchUp,
Yeah. Everybody kind of has their own way of approaching things, which is why I really love watching Aaron do this, because I feel like every time I do, I learn something new.
And that's what I would say about, when we have other people who aren't used to modeling get up here and model, and they go, oh, I don't know how to do this. And I'm like, well, sure you do. You just because you do it different from me doesn't mean you don't know what you're doing. So I always enjoy watching other people model on the live stream too. I just think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we're only throwing you to the wolves, though.
Yeah, that's true. All right, I'm gonna make that white again. All right, so nice. There we go. Oh, it's looking cool. It's looking cool. All right. I should probably group all this together. Hold up. Grab this and this and this and this and this and this. Make that a group.
Nice.
And now we'll explode it out of here. And then grab all this, make it its own group. All right, let me do a little work on this this guy here. I am letting geometry just overlap. By the way, actually, no, I don't like this. I'm going to come into this and cut that up a little higher. All right. I'm going to come into this. I'm going to grab that and that. Offset that just to get that roof there. I've been using 4 inches a lot for my offset number. Not for any particular reason. Just because I have been. That's the reason why. Yeah. Cuz is why.
It's a nice round number.
That's right. Bring that up like that, and I'll grab this. I could mirror, I could rotate. I got options again. Right, there we go. Get rid of that. Bring that out to the front, and then a little bit. Ooh, let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of the on this side too. We'll pull that out another, I don't know. This didn't look like it went out too far, but we'll try 6 inches and see how that looks.
John asked, why did you group everything and then explode? And I think you were intending to basically group everything that you've been drawing on that one plane and then explode it out of the building group so that everything is separate, right?
Right. So initially, all of these pieces were in separate groups, in a group with everything that was this main building. So they were all together. And then what I did was I went into that group, grabbed these pieces, made them into a group, then exploded that whole group. So now this is in its own standalone group, and then I regrouped this into its own. So, yes, good catch, good catch. Paying attention, keeping me honest. All right, so now what we got is we got this piece right here, essentially, is all glass. Go. Come here.
Oh, we're in your favorite part of these streams nowadays.
Material time.
Adding materials, yeah.
It's just so fun. That's going to be all glass. It does cause a little bit of an issue. No, it's not too big an issue. All right, so let's go do some wood. No, I'm not going to do that. There we go.
That looks good. I like that wood.
Just enough to fill it in.
Nice.
There we go. And then we'll do a little roofing up here. I don't know that I have a picture of what the top of this roof looks like.
I'm
sure it exists. Oh, no, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, obviously, that's asphalt shingles.
Like we're looking at a photo of Sasquatch. Like, what are we looking at there?
All right, so we got that. We're good. I'm just gonna roll with it. All right. Cool. Yeah. So I want that box to just be all glass because I want to come in here and these other pieces that sit around here, I want those to all be just built on the outside as separate chunks. So the first thing I got is I got these monstrous columns at each corner. Based on this being, I think this is 12 inches. Those things have to be, yeah, maybe like 2 foot wide.
Yeah,
they're big,
huge.
So let's come in here and I'm gonna draw that. So I'm gonna go this way, 12 inches. I'm gonna come out. What is that, 6? Go this way, 24. I mean, maybe not full 2 foot, but they're big. So let me run this up here for right now. So I'm gonna narrow it down to just a skosh. I'm bringing like 3 inches on each side. And then we're gonna actually have it come into the building 6 inches as well. So we'll take that, and then at the top, here's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to take this down. I'm going to grab this edge, and I'm going to go pull it vertical. So I'm going to hit the up arrow, and I'm going to pull it up until it hits the top. Boom. Now I'm going to grab this edge. I don't know why I have this broke. Oh, because the way I drew it. I'm going to grab this edge, and I'm going to move that vertical. Keep it constrained vertical till that little cursor hits the top. Boom. And now I have that. Perfect.
Nice.
So now what I want to do is I'm going to grab that, make it a component. I'm going to call it my corner column.
Rib 3.
Lumn. Oh, wow. There we go. All right. Then I can take that from here. Option copy that down to here. And I'm going to make these components that I need. Just like I said, I'm going to do them on one side. We're going to copy them over to the other, and I'm going to be done at that point. All right. So we do have a horizontal beam. We have 2. Big one right here that comes out, and then this one right here, almost like a purlin. It looks like another one here. So I'm going to do this big one, and then we'll do some of these small ones. It's hard to tell how far those go up. I should probably get my other picture in here. Hold on. Let me get my original image I was using.
Yeah, and while you do that, don't forget to save.
Oh, so much saving. Command S. Oh, I don't have my keylogger on. Hold up. But nobody has any idea what's going on anymore because I forgot to do that.
Yeah, we can't even see how many times you're Command Zing.
Yeah.
While you
get Zing, they were talking about Command S, all this awesome saving I'm doing.
True. I do have some history on this building pulled up, and the interesting part about this is the construction.
I think I just closed my. I did. Sorry. I was clicking around stuff, and I meant to close this, and I think I closed my modeling window instead. Tell me about this shrine, would you, Justin?
Okay, so it was conceived in 1993. The land was acquired in 95. Construction began in 97. But then in 2000, a severe windstorm basically wiped out the entire construction. And so they had to start from scratch. And then it opened in 2002 finally. But yeah, Aaron, you're from the Midwest. Can you comment on the windstorms?
Where I was from, where I am from, I didn't become from somewhere else. Where I'm from, I can't say we had terrible windstorms. The wind that. So when we moved, like I said, we lived in the suburbs of Chicago, and we moved out to Boulder, Colorado, Longmont, Colorado, and the wind we get coming off of the Front Range, it seems so much worse than anything we had back in Illinois, but I
It's
do know
true.
some of those plains places. We talk about like Kansas and Nebraska. Yeah, wind gets going, it gets rolling. So I believe that. I believe there were storms and they messed with things. I believe that is the real thing. Yes.
Checks out.
Yeah. All right, so I'm running this beam out here long, and then we'll chop it off like that. Actually, here we'll do this. We'll make it a perfect 45. I'm going to break it right here. You can rotate that edge. 40, 30 degrees? No, 45. I like that. Then you can pull that off. And then there
Nice.
we go. And I want to take this triangle right here, option copy, or option move. Put that on the other end. All right. Grab that. Make component. And we'll call this the big beam. Because it's a beam and it's big. That's why. Okay, so I need that same thing going horizontal here. So I have something that's the same size going here. I'm assuming that's front and back. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that and from the middle of this beam, rotate a copy. Perfect. Now, of course, this doesn't have the end cuts. It doesn't go long like this. So I'm just going to explode it. And we'll cut it right here. And we'll cut it. Oh, I don't have that. Right now, I'll just cut it right here. And then well, I guess I could cut it in the center. Yeah, let's just do that. Cut here, I'll drop it down the middle there.
John Ross asks, are the beams made of several planks? And yeah, to be fair, looking at the photo, I do think it's like 3 or 4 planks on top of each other. But we are speed modeling here, folks. Like we are
That's
just,
right.
We're getting it done.
That's a great question. And yes, yeah, if you look at it, there's definitely lots of layers of wood. I'm assuming these pieces right here are laminate too, but we're just going to give them a wood color and do this. Yeah. And everything's good.
Imagination.
That's right. Okay. So what I want to do now is I want to grab this and these. I'm going to copy it and I'm going to paste it right here. And are these, I forgot to make this a group. Component. So these two can stay. This one right here, I need to make unique. Because this one right here, hold on, I gotta look at something. This one right here, I'm gonna come in here and these ones can all go away, of course. Oops, too much. And these ones, I will intersect face with model, and I just need, somebody didn't break all the way.
Did you just pull it through, maybe?
Yeah, Yeah. Break it, break it, break it, break it. All right.
Nice.
This can go. Yeah, they'll just get rid of these extra edges here. This probably doesn't matter. That won't get seen. All right, so there we go. So now we got this, and this I'm going to make into a new component. Whoa. New component. I'm going to call this the side rib assembly. Cause.
Yeah, I
Say
feel
why.
like your naming schemes are spot on. I would love to see your component list.
Oh man, we can do that. We could look at that. All right, so I'm gonna bring that this way. And how many of these we got? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Wow, 13's a big one on this. All right, so here, how am I gonna do this? So we're. Trying to think of, all right, so if I look at this dimension, that's about 2 feet. So if I come this way, if I move that out to 2 feet, and then down here, same thing, I make an edge right there at 2 feet, and then I grab this one, I say option copy it down to this point, divide that by 10. Whoops. That gives me that many of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. I put them inside the building for some reason, which is not what I want, but that's easy enough to fix. This way. Oops. Bringing the building with me. And then if we wanted to make this even, I could come this way. 24. And scoot this right there.
Cool. Yeah, that's looking good.
There's a point you pass when you're working on a model where all of a sudden it seems to be a real thing, you know? Where you get to a spot where you're like, all right, we're doing it. This is it. And I feel like that was it. I think that putting these pieces on the side, all of a sudden now, I kind of believe that these are the same buildings. Come in here. Grab that. And then scoot that this way. Toggle my model back on. All right, so I think the only other thing I really want to get in here on the side is I got a couple, like I said, it looks like I got 2 of these, I don't know what you call them, purlins or casings for the window or something, but I have 2 of those. They're much smaller running across, so I'll get those in there and then I'll make that into a component and copy it to the other side. We're getting there. We are getting there. All right,
Just a couple side ribs and you're good to go.
Side ribs. Write that down. Let's go from this intersection. We'll go up. How far is it all the way up? If I go all the way up, it is 25 feet. So if we go up 10 feet, let's say 10 foot. Just go up 10 inches. I didn't go up at all. All right, 10 foot. And then from there, we'll go up like, I don't know, 6 inches. 2, 6 inches. edge right here. Take this one, make a copy over to here, get rid of this in the middle. Sometimes I mumble to myself as I model. It's a good time.
I was wondering what was going on there.
All right, there we go. I'm gonna grab that and make a new component. Middle rib. There we go. And then I'll copy that vertically 10 feet. All right. And then I think for the level of detail we're going for, I think that's it for the side. So, well, I don't even know what's happening on the back anymore. I don't know. There's stuff going on back there.
Yeah, it looks like it's from the photos. It's missing. I think it's just a glass facade, essentially.
Yeah, but I think we have this whole thing back there too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing. If I grab all of this and I make it into a component and I stick it on the other side, then I'll have to do that again with the front and back with this. But if I grab all of this, plus the front, plus this, plus this beam, if I grab all of that, or if I deselect that after I grab it.
Yeah, if you
again, to grab all of
carefully
that,
select
right-click,
everything, and then carefully deselect everything, and then do it again.
and we'll call this a half order of ribs. If I take that and rather than copy it, if I rotate it around the middle of this roof, give me this point right here, give me the middle. And I go option rotate.
I can't help but laugh about the half order of ribs. That's hilarious.
All right, apparently my roof's not perfectly symmetrical, so undo. Let's try that right here. We'll find the middle of this. All right, we'll try that. Option rotate. Rotate around the middle. There we go. That's it.
Nice.
And there we go. And now I can also hop in here and I can go, okay, grab this one, and this one should go from here up to the face of. Oh, help! I'm on the glass.
Yeah, it's catching the glass. Nice.
All right. This is a cool building. I like this. I like this a lot. Let's throw some more materials in here. Let's go into some stuff.
Yeah, it looks like a nice light wood.
Yeah, let's see what we got for regular wood. I think we can use this laminate, which I'm not a huge fan of because it doesn't have really good definition, but I think that works okay for this one. So I'm going to put it on there like that, and then we're going to go back home. I'm going to double click it, and we're going to go lighten it up. So I'm just going to kind of take it and make it lighter.
Yeah, there you go.
There it is. Okay, so that works on both of those. I'll come into this, same thing. All right, that one I might have to fix because the grain's going the wrong direction. I know the grain's going the wrong direction on these angled pieces too, but this one's much more clearly not going to work. So I'll grab this texture, position, grab it, we'll rotate it 90 degrees. And then I can come in here, I can say all, sample here, and then paint that, and it'll get all the sides going the same direction. Beauty. Come in here.
Nice.
Which, of course, is the wrong direction for this one. So I will have to go in here, texture, position, flip that 90 degrees again, and we're good to go there. Now I can grab all of it, sample, fill. And that should work for this one too. This one right here. So I'm going to sample ahead of time. I'm going to sample the vertical texture I have. Come into this one, select all, fill it with that vertical texture. This one right here is horizontal, so I'll go grab this one. Come in here, all, fill it. I should get both of those up there. Perfect. We're getting there. Look, one piece at a time. All right. These ones right here, I'll just sample off of this. Come in here. Come in here. All, fill.
Nice.
Oops.
Are you going to add an entrance?
Yeah, I figure we got another, what, 20 something minutes left. Let's knock out this front entryway. Get rid of that.
Don't forget to save.
Okay. All right. So a couple things here. So first thing is, it looks like the face of the roof here is the same light material. So I'm gonna go ahead and sample this. Get that all wooded up. Back.
Got a couple people in the comments here mentioning that they're wondering actually if you know that you can double right click on a material that's painted onto a surface and just quickly rotate that way. But
Yes, you can.
yeah, he knows. But sometimes
It's all in here. It's just not always in RAM. Sometimes it's in storage. It's on the disk drive, and I haven't accessed that. It's just not in the, it's not active.
Well, to be fair, also, like, sometimes you're modeling in a way that's like quicker when you're not like showing other people. And in this case, it's nice
So
to kind
fair.
of like go into the the
Yeah.
actual rotation.
All right. So let's spend some time making this happen right here. I think I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm going to come in here, turn everything back on. I have this face. I'm going to grab this material, drop it right here, and then texture, position. Shrink that down a bit. Oh, shrink it down too much. There we go. That should be about right. Again, just trying to get it about. No, that was not right. Right there. The reason it's hard to resize stuff is because you're sizing the absolute corners, so it can. Oh, that's good. That'll work for what we're doing. All right. So I'm going to start by chopping this in half because I don't want to model this twice. I'll come over here, draw a line up, draw that like that. There's a little bit of an arc. Past that just a little bit. That, and then put an arc on here that comes up just a little like that. Oh yeah. Okay. Now I'm literally just tracing geometry, and as I do this, I am deferring to the axes rather than the image. So I'm making sure that's snapping vertical rather than snapping at a slight angle, because that vertical is more important. That's what I need right here. All right, looks like there's one more vertical piece right here. Door frame. And then we got some arcs going. So my arcs can go from this point up to that. Hold up. I'm trying to think how to do this now. All of a sudden, I talked myself out of everything I was doing. I'm going to grab all these pieces. I'm going to mirror them over. Yes, I am. All right, I'm going to cut that off there. Draw an arc then from the end of this to the end of this. My arc like that. I gotta get rid of this. I know I just drew this in, but I gotta cut it out. I gotta get all this in one. Offset that. Two, three. All right. I'll offset that. Here. There we go. Offset this. No, hold up. Unselect. Be cool. Two.
A lot of whispering going on over there.
Yeah.
You're deep in the flow.
Oh, it's happening, man. It's stuff's going on. All right. So what that got me, whoops, was these pieces right here. So what I can do now is I can grab each of these, 1, 2, 3. We'll mirror those. Again, option mirror right at the middle. Will get us all that geometry. Looking good. Awesome. Continue this back up. And now I just got to figure out, obviously very poor photo of the front door, so I got to assume a little bit, but I'm going to assume that this vertical, whoops, why didn't that cut? This vertical piece, let's try that again. This vertical piece runs through all the others up to the top like that. I'm going to assume this stuff all comes together somehow. It's magic fairy wood, so that's how it works.
Yeah, we're at the stage of the design here where we're just making a lot of assumptions based on very pixelated photos.
That's right. Look what I'm designing from. What do you want from me? Yeah, so, I mean, this could happen. Somebody could take these pieces and cut them in such a way that they overlap. This is not ridiculous. I'm not sure why that happened there. All right, there we go. What's happening there is actually deleting the surface, and I'm seeing through the other side. And then I'm just closing the surface back up by putting another piece in there. Okay, so that's the piece there. This piece is here. Oh. I had to hit the brakes. Yeah, I'm not sure why I keep having these issues where stuff's not, these edges aren't getting broke. Oh, no, it's not because I copied it over. I don't know. All right, there we go. And then in the middle, got a break where that door is, and then some handles happening. All right. I'm going to now, we're going to come in here. We're going to give this some depth. So I think this is going to come out a little bit. These two pieces. Hold up. First, before we do that, those are all the important parts. Yeah. I'm going to grab white. Whoops, I don't want it all over that, actually. I just want it on this. I want to keep my roof. I intentionally colored my roof area. I don't want to get rid of that yet. All right, there we go. Now I'm going to come in and add materials. I'm going to add materials before I push pull, and that's intentional because right now, so this right here is one surface, right? So I can add a material to it, put my dark wood material on there, it'll be on there. If I pull this out first, now all of a sudden I got to go into each of these little faces and add materials to it later. So like a coloring book, I want to color it while it's all just lines right now. That way when I pull out, it'll automatically assume those shapes or those colors that I put on there. So let's go find some brick first. Brick. Alphabetical order. I don't know what we got here. Let's try some stuff. Oh, that's awful clean.
I think you can pick any of those bricks and then just lighten up the color. That's nice.
Yeah, I'm more looking at the shape of the bricks. It's a little more worn, but I think that'll work. All right, I'm gonna use that one. On the sides as well. Let's throw it on the back here. And then what I'll do, again, just like I did before, I'm gonna come out here. Oh, I gotta purge. Hold up. There we go. Grab that, and then we'll just really lighten that up. Not only want to make it lighter, but I also want to get away from this orangish that it's definitely closer to white. So I'm just going to kind of try to drag that sort of in the center there. That'll work.
Nice.
All right, so that's going to be there. Now, here's the thing we got to do. We got to get that onto here. This is going to get crazy. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Buckle up. All right. What we're going to do is I'm going to sample that same material and apply it to this face, but that's obviously not what I want. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to grab my material, just this face, texture, position, and I'm going to rotate it so that the bricks are running 90 degrees to that section, just like that.
You're right. That was crazy.
Oh, we're not even to the crazy part yet. That was the simple stuff. Get ready, everybody. So the next thing I want to do is I want to distort this a little bit more. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to go turn off fixed pins, and I get these little push pins. I'm going to take this one. I'm going to click it to pick it up, and I'm going to go just inside. Let's do it at this end because we can. Just inside that little mortar line. This one right here, I'm going to grab and put, again, just inside, like right here, but straight down, like about there. On this end, pick it up. I'm going to follow that line, be just inside this one right here. And then you will come over here and be just inside that. So what I basically did was I grabbed these pins and I shoved them in there. And now what I can do is I can distort and pull this like this, pull it like this, pull this one up here like this.
Oh, wow.
Here. All right, so we gotta go a little bit further out to get rid of those lines on the end. And there we go. With that same material,
Nice.
we got that. Again, this is for, we're doing this whole thing in an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So we're definitely, taking some liberties with this stuff, but this is using that same material. I'm not trying to cut anything out of this low quality brick here. I'm not trying to download or take high-res pictures and bring them in. This is just quick and easy with the existing materials.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if I grab this right now, I honestly don't know what's going to happen. If I mirror that, will that mirror the material over?
Nice.
I like it when stuff goes easy.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, so there we go. Like I said, quick and easy, but we got those same brick look from that one texture. All right, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this material out just a little bit. So I want a little bit of a recess there, but I want my brick on it. And then I'll pull this one up. And then we'll just make that just slightly proud of the main brick. Beauty. All right. Then these two pieces I think are going to be on the outside. Let's get some material on there. They are, I can't tell if that's shadow or if they're actually darker wood. Whoa, look how far in that door is. Oh man, yeah. It does look like it's supposed to be the same color wood. It's just in the shadow. Yeah, look down there. We got a little sun on it. That's what it's saying. Okay, so that's cool. But this all goes way back. Should have done this before I broke this up into so many pieces. So what I can do, let's do a group select like this. And then I'm just worried about the faces. I'm not really too worried about the edges. They'll come along for the ride if I have the full face selected. I'll make sure I don't have anything on the bottom selected. So I'm going to deselect that. Make sure everything on the back selected. Nope. So now I should be able to just grab this and move it straight back.
There you go.
Nice.
Oh yeah, look at that brick.
This will need some work. I think if I grab this, put it there. Oh yeah.
Nice.
That'll work. All right. And now I'm going to grab the same wood that's on here. Put that on my vertical members.
Looks like the door itself is the same wood too, and then all the other openings are glass. So you can probably just select the same material, white, and then just
glass.
Yeah, there you go.
It seems monotonous clicking on each of these pieces, but it's so much easier to do this flat because we're about to make a mess. All right, so now I'm going to take these structural pieces, these bigger guys. They're going to come out here about that much. I'm going to
your standard 4 inches.
Could be. I ballparked it, I'll be honest. When I do this, if at all possible, I like getting this little bit of change in depth, because that way, even if I turn my edges off, I still have a little bit of an overlap there. And I think that's just makes it look a little bit nicer, a little bit cleaner to have that. And then this one, I want to pull out not quite as far. Same with these guys. These guys will all come out the same amount.
And to get rid of the stray edges there, would you use like the cleanup extension, or
exactly?
Or are we just leaving it?
Grab a bunch of stuff right there. Go to extensions, cleanup, merge faces, and then extensions, cleanup, erase stray edges, and then that should get rid of all that extra stuff. So what I was talking about there is, if I was to come up here to my styles and turn my edges off, because I have those offsets there, I still have, I can still see that the ambient occlusion and everything still makes it look like those are separate pieces. If they were all pushed together, it would look like it was all cut out of one chunk of wood. That's not as good. All right, so on this door, I'm gonna run the right way. So the other thing, so that offset's kind of nice. With this door, if I want to try to make it look like two separate pieces rather than one big panel, I can do something similar. I'm going to go find the middle here, draw a line straight down, and then I'll go from here to here, maybe like 1/4 inch. I'm just going to drag that line straight up till it hits the top up here. I can just mirror that over. Big fan of mirror. Get rid of the middle one. And I can take that and just push that in a little bit. So that's a 1/2 inch gap. It's maybe a little bigger than it would really be in real life. But again, if I turn the edges off, I'll be able to see that as two separate doors rather than one solid piece.
Nice.
That's looking pretty cool. I like that. I like that building. That is a fun road trip. What do you say? Next week we'll be live on I-80, Nebraska.
Yeah, very limited service.
From the hotspot. Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that looks awesome.
I think I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go change the color of my edges to something a little bit light. Not that light. That's too light. Oh yeah, looks pretty cool.
Nice.
Let's do this as well. Let's. There's so much. It's so hard to see inside. I don't really want to mess with trying to do anything inside, so I'm trying to make this shell look as cool as I can make it look. So let's do that.
Maybe throw in an environment. What do you
Let's
think?
do that. Let's grab all of these. I'm not going to delete them, but let's make this back into a group. Grab all of these, and we'll just hide them temporarily. Temporary forever kind of thing. Yeah, let's turn on environments. We'll start there. Let's turn it all on. Give me all of it. All right, I'm not a big fan of this. What I'd rather have is cast a shadow onto that. And then with this, we'll go. Do they have sun-scorched grass as an option here in my ground cover?
Sun-scorched grass.
Oh,
Ish.
boy. All right, there we go. That's not far off. Okay. Yeah. So let's make that better. Close that. I don't think we're in the right environment. Also, I'm gonna hop in here. I'm gonna come into this, and I'm gonna give my floor just a little bit of depth. Not a lot, but enough so I get rid of that Z fighting. I'm also gonna throw a material on here. I'm gonna just call it like, let's go find some.
Like a nice cement.
Yeah. That'll work. That's too close to the ground. The ground color. Okay, that's better.
Cool.
That looks pretty nice. We don't need Mr. Scale here anymore. Right, let's close that. Yeah, that looks pretty good, but I don't love that environment. I want something a little more.
Looks like there's a lot of like shrubs and vegetation in the back. So yeah, that style there might be perfect. Look at that. We're in Nebraska, folks.
That's right. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, just turn off your axes and
I think
that's
so.
it.
We're there. That turned out
Nice.
pretty cool. Love it. I love it.
Save
It's
it.
great. Command S. Awesome. Well, hey, I think that was a pretty like an effort. What, an hour and a half model? I think that turned out pretty sweet. It is fun to do these. One of the limitations we of course have is we do try to say let's do about 2 hours here, just because it's exhausting to do this for more than that. We used to do 4-hour streams. That was back in the day, but we don't, and I'm assuming there was a good reason we stopped doing that. So, but with that 2-hour limitation, or with those 2-hour time limit, does come limitations of what we do. So I was intentionally a little brief on some of the details. I don't know how any of this wood connects. I don't know how we basically have this gigantic monolithic pane of glass right here. That's probably not really what's happening. We have groups lapping through groups, and I just kind of left it. Not saying this to say any of this is wrong, but this is a way of modeling that we get something that looks good in a shorter amount of time. So hopefully you guys saw that and took something out of that. It's definitely, this could be taken as step one, and one could go back afterwards and, flesh out the details of that. But it's kind of cool to think that, yeah, in that amount of time, I didn't download any new materials. These were all stock materials. I didn't have any plans. I had a couple dimensions and a photo to match. But we got to this pretty quick and pretty easy. So, yeah, that's kind of the thing to take away, I suppose.
Yeah. Awesome job.
do that.
I think it looks fantastic. And yeah, I wasn't really sure how you were gonna model the various arcs and whatnot, but I feel like painting the photo onto the surface and then kind of tracing that was a good approach. I'm not sure that I would have taken it. So, like I said, you always learn something new, and there's a million ways to model things in SketchUp, which is really cool.
So many. That's yeah. That's what I was saying before. I love that so much. Enjoy watching other people model things, and try to learn something from other people. This is definitely a fun program in that there's so many ways to do stuff. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, hey, we're gonna call it. That's it. We're done. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, I think
Goodbye.
we did good. We're gonna go get some ribs now. We've been talking about it forever.
So many ribs. Yeah, but no, that was a fun model, a cool one. This was actually on our list of requests. So at some point, somebody threw this out as an idea, and a lot of times you guys throw out ideas, and we just write down the name that you threw out. No idea what it actually looks like. So last week we came through here and we looked up a picture of this and said, yeah, that'll be a fun model. So just to show, when you guys come up with comments, we do try to catch those and capture them. So we also generally, when we wrap up here, we let the outro music play for a couple minutes. So if you do have an idea, you can still have time to get it in there. We'll keep an eye on the comments. But if you have a cool idea for a good model, let us know. Or not necessarily a specific model, but maybe a workflow. How do I model a certain type of thing? We love doing this. We love making these videos. But when you were doing something that's aligning with what you need, it means so much more. So yeah, let us know your ideas, please.
Yeah, and also I think we made it through this whole stream without actually saying our names. Gabriel on LinkedIn is asking our names, but I'm Justin, and modeling here is Aaron, the modeling guru. But yeah, thank you everybody for joining in internationally. This was a lot of fun, a lot of good laughs, and yeah, like Aaron said, we're always monitoring the forums. So if you guys come up with any good ideas, don't hesitate to drop them in there, because we got to keep the content engine churning here, and we're always looking for great ideas. So
That's right.
Yeah, Any final wisdom or thoughts, Aaron? Or
just to Gabriel, thanks for calling us out on not putting our names up. Maybe we need to look back into it. Can we put a lower third on here? Or yeah, we should probably figure out something about that. But we are broadcasting on the official SketchUp channel. So if you do go to YouTube, just search for SketchUp. And we are the SketchUp channel on YouTube. If you want more videos like this, we have a lot of more structured kind of content that we come out with weekly. And we do a short every day. So if you subscribe to us on YouTube, you will get a lot of good, what I would consider to be very good and solid SketchUp.
Top notch. The best of the best.
That's exactly how I refer to it. Yeah. So. All right, but that's all I could think of. I think we're good. I think this is it. We did it.
Yeah, we did it. Thank you everybody for joining in. We'll see you next week.
See you guys.
See ya.